It's ninth floor Chomo. Go tap, 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 tap. He gets a text message every goddamn time Chomo admin sees we're online. Listen to it. You're telling me that's not happening. You got to give them time to run about 40 different exploits and come back. It's 1 per second. Yes, it is. Now, I'm going to pretend to touch the mouse. Do you see what happened? Because he's guessing as to the timing. He's guessing as to the timing.
Wir ließen uns tragen vom Wind, liefen los, ohne zu fragen, wohin. Fragten nicht nach den Gefahren, denn in dieser Lage.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
So kamen wir her und die Jahre vergingen. Meine Nachbarn von damals so unendlich dankbar, weil sie uns mit offenen. Ich war noch ein Kind, angefangen.
You're not doing anything to me, stupid. You're doing something to YouTube. You know that, right?
Unser Land herrschte Krieg und deswegen hat Papa dem Tod in die Augen geblickt, um uns so mit ermöglichen Frieden zu leben. Das Schicksal haben wir schon leise verkraften. Heute lebe ich in unserer die es leider nicht schaffen. Nicht alle finden ein neues Zuhause, wenn sie ihre Heimat verlassen. Wir glauben an bessere Zeiten ist nicht.
He still didn't burn out his IP address.
Wir uns da draußen begegnen, dann leuchten wir auf wie Kometen.
Okay, so when I reach over here, it's going to go ape shit because I'm going to say click and the music's going to start playing. You see how pathetic this is? It's 128K, stupid. This isn't possible. The idea that it's my internet connection is not what's happening. Wow, you are stupid. Just keep it up, Chomo. This is how obsessed he is. No matter how apparent it is. Well, I guess we'll wait to start. Oh, so police officers have been stabbed up and had their cars rammed into and all sorts of things. There's a dead body down the street just that they found. Did he burn out his IP yet? Yeah, in about 20 seconds he'll be. There he goes. I'm not turning it off till that stops happening, so I know you're fucking gone. And then we'll get to talking about what's happening. Our subscribers watch once it's recorded. Your dumbass is getting a text message from Chomo admin to harass us every second we're on. That's his way of saying no!
Das ist nicht mit Fake und du hast mich
This is so creative. Hey, YouTube, there's a serious problem with pedophiles using and abusing your network, and we keep trying to address it, and you keep handing them our personal information. Now, I'm going to reach over here. See? See how it lights up? So you know I wasn't touching it, basically. Every time I reach over here, it goes apeshit. If I yell click, the track changes. So, YouTube, you must have a chomo on your admin team, because from the second we hit the webcam URL, from that second, we get bombarded with bad data. You've been listening for 7 minutes to a 128K stream cutting in and out nonstop because we're getting fucking bombarded. I can send video, but I can't receive a stream. What are you talking about? This ain't no cable modem. That ain't a cell phone. It's a RISC processor. I know you're stupid because you're a pedophile. I'm explaining something to you. Radio shows are not closed captions. You have to order a transcript. And these days they don't do that. You'll be lucky if it's available online, typed in text, if it's one of the government-funded stations. Or you're gonna have to make an arrangement to send them like $20 US with a money order or some shit. So what's happening here? So I've had the cops called on me again for picking up garbage. That nigger's not. Oh, what do you mean no sound? I got the sound indicator here. One of 5. Got no sound, eh? You sure about that? You've got to be fucking kidding me. More shit I didn't touch. So that was my only split. Thank God it was all big chunks. If there's no sound, then what's cutting in and out on my fucking radio here? It fell straight down in front of me. This is perfect. I was only going to roll one joint out of it anyway. Demi, you're not answering me, so I don't believe you. So now the sound cuts out even when the indicator's on, eh? I'm not so sure about that. Didn't I tell you yesterday I thought you were in league with Chomo? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So we're having non-stop problems. So what we're getting now is, so last year, every fucking video got reported for this or that, and nothing happened, nothing came of it, but every single video got reported and cut off. You're trying to commit suicide. No, I'm not. You're telling kids to hurt themselves. No, I'm not. You're lying about medicine. No, I'm not. That's relatively new. That was only a couple days ago. Now it's not closed captioned. What fucking idiot is listening to radio and music expecting closed caption? What do you think I'm saying? And I'm familiar with the law. Since YouTube is based in the U.S., I have to abide by the U.S. law, and guess what? We're not required to provide closed captions. If you wanted closed captions, you'd stop giving our IP address to chomos, harassing us, and we could get the closed captioning. I give up on that. We've given you 2,000 fucking video examples of these people harassing us. So it was 9:42, and I started at 9 o'clock or some shit. Oh, I got a bird up here. Let's see, where is it? What's he doing? I'll bring him down in a second. You ever see a bird standing on the sidewalk, just standing there? There's something wrong with him. He's either sick or dehydrated or he's going to die. I'm not sure which. His feet looked all clubbed, and he's kind of dirty, and he smells like a dog, which is unusual for a bird, isn't it? I got him up there with some muffin crumbs and some clean tap water. I don't know how many people saw me walking around with them in my hand. Can't believe I dropped that weed. Pretty sure that's my fault. Sometimes I say it jumped by itself and it didn't. That is the one problem with cordless phones. They don't generally have a keypad lock. So, I don't know if I'm dehydrated. What the fuck's wrong? I know that tying a bandana on here all day long, the skin and the flesh and the cartilage don't like that. Cigarettes will fucking kill you. I say that most of the times, don't I, YouTube? Because I don't want kids thinking it's cool. I'm so hooked I can't stop. Where the fuck else were we at? What is this? I don't know what this is made out of. But it says Pin Depot. Pin Depot. You probably looked that up. And I know birds don't do well with cigarette smoke. I got the window open, the exhaust fan, and the circulation fan on. I don't know what the I had 5 fucking links to show people. That was 3 videos ago. Let's see if I can. What's the last one I had? I think it's the street sweeper one. I'll get to posting the rest of them after. I can't believe how bad my sinuses hurt. Can't believe how bad my sinuses hurt. Oh, okay. Tab. I know there was other news, but I don't have it all. Oh, the language reform. Wow. So, Quebec is a province in Canada, but they consider themselves a nation, just like U.S. states. Like Texas is very clear about this. They're their own state, their own country. So Quebec refers to their assembly as their national assembly. So like we have a provincial parliament. They don't call it provincial. They call it national. And now if you immigrate to what they're trying to do, I don't know anymore. But apparently they expect people that move here to have 6 months to learn French. That's interesting because so far as I know, although understanding some of the, if I understand correctly, understanding the one or the other of the official languages is important. It may be a part of the process. It isn't always mandatory for everybody to understand. Like a 90-year-old person who's been sponsored over, brought over by their working kids who have lots of money and have some sort of special job here, that how they got here and stuff, they'll probably get in even without being able to speak English or French because it don't matter, you know, if they got supports and stuff. Now, some random person by themselves who doesn't have a plan on how to contribute to society and so forth, these are not my concepts, but Canadian government, they probably won't get in. It's fucked up here. I'm going to smoke this joint and feel better. I'll bring the bird down and show you. He don't look too pretty, but he's a neighborhood bird. If he cleans up a bit and acts more lively tomorrow or the next day, I'll bring him back to where I got him, which is only slightly less than a kilometer in a straight line as a bird flies. Oh, my sinus is fucking me. Although I've been out several times today, out in the sun all fucking day. Got 2 cans of spray paint. I got so much crap here, batteries and another battery, lug nuts, nails, and a got this whole pile right here. This is heavy as fuck. So this is all the crap, pieces of metal, nails, and shit that I haven't put away or showing you guys yet. I like showing people what I find on the ground, especially when the city is handing out $339,000 contracts to people that don't even own street sweepers, and I'm the guy sweeping the street. So these people that harass us have tried every fucking way possible. I started restricting the video, so you had to log. So if it's restricted to 18 plus, you got to log in to see it. Unless for some reason you're on Facebook. I don't know how the fuck that works, but. And then that's it. They reported every fucking video in a row until I did that for 6 months. Now they're reporting us for closed captions. Okay. Medical misinformation. I'm responsible because the news said something that wasn't true, and I questioned it. But if I say, yeah, they said this and that, that would be medical misinformation. If I said, oh, the radio said this, then that, and I didn't actually play you the thing to review for yourself. Oh, these are filthy. I'm gonna light a joint. What am I gonna do here? Oh, I wanted to do more stenciling on this shit too. I don't know what I'm trying to do anymore. I'm getting fucking confused. That is a breadcrumb, not marijuana. So welcome to this channel where I try to review the news and document my death since I'm dying. I got trigeminal neuralgia, sickle cell anemia. Yes, yeah. Oh, motherfucker. And what was the other thing I got? Parvovirus B19. Yeah, I forget sometimes. Which means I qualify as immunocompromised. I'm gonna light this joint. But hey, you okay, buddy? Well, his eyes are open. Birds don't do well with bad air and stuff like this. It's hard to tell if they're gonna live or not. He seems older. He's not a little bird. His feet are all clubbed, like worn. I don't know how that happens. Like his back, they got like a back claw on their foot is sharp, but his front 4 toes and both sides, is it 4? Whatever they are, all clubbed. And he smells funky. And when I found him, he was standing on the sidewalk, looking side to side, just looking side to side. He let me get right up to him. Okay, you probably can't hear him, but he's rustling around up there. As soon as I roll this and get it lit, I can think. Hey, we got 10 minutes before the news comes on. All right, the top of the hour of the news. All right. Rolling papers. And by the way, the marijuana, I don't bother mentioning this because YouTube knows I'm in Canada. It's perfectly legal. So if they tried to censor every fucking video for smoking weed, they'd never be able to keep up. The fact is, even before it was so-called legalized, I was allowed to smoke it because I'm medical. And I'm First Nations and a bunch of other reasons. I can't believe how bad my sinuses are. Because they're dry, I think. I smoke unadulterated tobacco. That does not mean it's healthy. It just means if I smoke cigarettes soaked in gasoline, I can't stop chain smoking. That's right. You're all addicted to gasoline from the car exhaust and the secondhand smoke. So back in the 80s, when they started putting catalytic converters, onboard diagnostics with oxygen sensors in the exhaust, and taking the lead out of the gas, is when a whole lot of people started going into crazy withdrawal, like me. Yeah, as people started to stop smoking around me and things like that, I started going into fucking withdrawal and shit as a child. That's helpful, isn't it? That's helpful. Now I can't stop. I guess I could, but I got so many other problems on the go, it's not going to work. Just one last look to see if I spilled anything anywhere else. I got all the little nugs. Oh my God. He's bouncing around up there. I think he'll be okay. As we started to walk away from his little section of the neighborhood, walking away and then back this way through his little spot in the neighborhood, he started trying really hard to get away. You can hear his friends chirping and tweeting. He don't know what I'm going to do. But where you would expect a wild animal to notice if a cat was coming or fly away if a human was coming. He's not doing any of that, which is, I guess, a version of sickness behavior. And that's how the sick animals get killed off and the healthy ones don't. So that cage that does not work for the mice is actually originally a bird cage. So show you, if you're watching this in real time or in the past, First Nation did not, well, it's complicated. So for example, I'll tell you, there is a section of land, I forget where, in the US, there's like 4 acres or something, that has never ever been turned over to the government ever. It's always been First Nations land. So sirens, that's the letter S if I remember correctly. The Dakota, the Pine Ridge, south, is it North Dakota? Dakota, Pine Ridge, planted in contemporary times. They openly planted a crop in 1999. The FBI, the feds came, tore up the crop, destroyed it, whatever. They said, don't ever fucking do that again. The Indians did. And if they've been growing since like 1990, I guess you would say the year 2000, openly, because they have the right to. And they've shown that they have the historical thing. It's been in their culture, because we have 33,000-year-old cannabis seeds that they found. They found 33,000-year-old cannabis seeds fossilized in North America on Turtle Island. So the idea that the European settlers brought it over 500 years ago makes no sense. Now, if you said somehow Asians sailed this way and brought it, that would make sense to me, but no one makes that allegation. So yeah, we could always get weed, basically, because we don't, 90% of us, 90% of the time, don't recognize the Canadian government. Until they start abiding by all the treaties they've made, we don't recognize them. But Canada is separate from Britain, and some of us are still considered sworn enemies to the British Crown. So you have to be pragmatic when you interpret these things. The treaty that I say lets me put this on my armband here is 245 years old, for example. So I have to interpret it in modern terms. We weren't offered money. We were expected to be supplied weapons and uniform, whatever, ourselves. Does not matter what our other nationality is. We are also dual nationals with the U.S. Yeah, this neighborhood, up until the last 2 years, this neighborhood, at night when it's warm out, you see every type of old car, every type of motorcycle. I couldn't even explain. I've seen, I saw a Model A a few months ago. I saw a Model A a few months ago in the parking lot by the grocery store, the Galleria Mall, where they're building these $500,000 condos. Move into my neighborhood, you need $500,000 to drop. I saw a Rambler Ambassador. I'm not sure if Ambassador is the model name or like the trim level of the car. Like there were all Ramblers and this one's the Ambassador. I don't remember those, but I saw a Rambler Ambassador about a month ago. And there should be a video on the internet somewhere of that car, because I watched Buddy taking a picture, like a video of his car, and then started. Beautiful sound. I see brand new like Corvettes, Camaros, and things. The old Firebirds from the 80s, 70s, fucking. There are Dodge Darts and Roadrunners and Hemi Cudas and shit up here. There's your LA style lowriders and shit. You'll only see those on the warmest of the fucking weather because of the salt up here. I'm not well. Let's get this joint in me. And so yeah, we got all sorts of weird rules. For example, if you're not First Nation, now I don't know if it applies to not being from that reservation. This gets more complicated. But if you trespass on a reservation, it's a $50 fine, and that law is still standing. Like no, not me. Although the argument could be made, since I don't have status, or I qualify for status, but I don't have the card. Wow, this is complicated. If it grows out of, so the Micmac consider that everything that grows out of the ground is our purview. We don't have the same concept of owning land traditionally, that like the way we do now, like this is my property, that's your property. We basically have the same as trackage rights. So this is a Canadian Pacific Railroad line, but you will sometimes see Canadian National Railroad locomotives. They have trackage rights on each other's lines. The Micmac, in the way I interpret it, I can wander around wherever the fuck I want, as long as I'm not damaging your land or stealing from you or anything, because it's already known that we will only help pick up garbage, plant things and stuff. I must have planted 2,000 grape seeds today. No, there's between one of, so 4,000, 8,000 grape seeds. And I found several more. I found several more growing where I planted some a few months ago, but I wasn't sure if they would survive the frost, because we've had like 6 frosts this fucking summer, 6 last frosts this summer. But it's kind of like the tobacco. So in 1997, 98, I think it was, one of the First Nations up here bought, they paid $10 million for the old equipment from, I believe it was either Rothman's or Benson and Hedges. I could be wrong. $10 million. Same as this building cost $10 million. Everything's always $10 million up here. A dump truck hit the Burlington Skyway, $10 million damage, because the guy was drunk and lifted the dump bed up, smashed right into it. They tried telling us these are illegal, but they're not illegal. You can call them illicit because you don't like it. But if you have if 200 or less cigarettes is duty free when you get on an airplane, you go from one nation to another. If I go to the Mohawk Nation and I leave there and I have 200 tobacco sticks, that's what the Canadian government calls them, is tobacco sticks. So if it's complete like this, it's tobacco stick. If there's any part of it not fully complete, like the wrapper, the old Rockports, where the Presto pack, you had to slip it on your, so that's not, for some reason, not considered a tobacco stick. But they tried saying that cigarette smoking is what causes most house fires. Statistically here, that's not true. It's cooking. It's actually cooking. They tried saying we were selling illegal cigarettes to buy illegal guns. It's like we've had guns for hundreds of years, however long. Couple hundred years, and we got into the cigarette business. I know this is not traditional. All the native elders out there, I recognize this is not traditional, but it is the same plant, and these are unadulterated. There's no gasoline in here, as far as I know. Because traditionally we would smoke a small amount of tobacco in a pipe, pass it around. Once in a while, we didn't smoke like this. This got abused. I'm gonna turn the music on. Yeah, suicide disease is brutal pain. So, worst pain.
Chance links eine Schelle, dann rechts eine Schelle, nochmal eine Schelle. Wer macht jetzt noch Welle? Schrei Hölle im Ghetto, der Schlagerfan. Und für die Schweiz ist Entdeckung. Aber kein Butterfly, a.k.a. Michael Stich.
Tired 10 minutes, didn't I?
680 News, the CFTR at Toronto and at the phone, 680 News time, 10 o'clock.
Doch beweg dich zum Glück. Schieb dich nicht, lass dich mit.
So there was a body found a couple blocks from here, basically, like a kilometer or two.
Good evening. I'm James Mackin.
And I'm Veronica Thor. Here's what's making news right now.
Let's hear it.
The provincial government is opening up more vaccine slots this week, focusing on vaccinating younger residents.
Homicide investigation now underway after a daylight shooting in Etobicoke.
What?
Police say one person is dead and 3 others are injured.
Toronto police investigating a shooting in Scarborough, which has sent one man to hospital with life-threatening injuries.
It's Sunday.
Hundreds in Oakville speak out about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict following charges in connection with a protest that drew thousands at Nathan Phillips Square.
Panthers and Lightning living up to the hype here in the third period. Blue Jays take 2 of 3 from the Phillies, and the Raptors end on a losing note for the 2021 season. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, a made in Canada COVID-19
You heard the market.
vaccine
You heard the
is
market
showing
bell.
signs of
Ding, ding,
promise.
ding. It's
The
Sunday.
CEO at Providence Therapeutics says the company needs.
It should be
more
the jingling
government
bells of the
support.
corner store when you open the door. Ding, ding. It's the
News
weekend.
time, 10:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the
And just a
ones.
reminder, in case you're wondering who the fuck I am, I live next door to a nuclear power.
BMW retailer.
Sorry, not a nuclear power plant. A nuclear fuel.
Construction delays now.
A nuclear fuel pellet plant.
Let's start on the eastbound 401 from the 412 to Broad Street. 2 left lanes have been blocked off, and that's causing delays from the about Lakeridge now all the way through to.
So all I remember is 2019. There was a. Oh yeah, one more thing to add to your question there about First Nations. In Ontario, The Ontario government recognizes that there are at least 18 feral varieties of cannabis. So I don't know if that number's cut. So that implies they were once cultivated and they escaped. 18 varieties. So cultivar comes, it's a portmanteau, which is a French loan word. Cultivated variety becomes cultivar. And in common language, we often say it's a strain. And some people use the term landrace. My sinuses are not right. This is what I get for walking around in the fucking sun. No strenuous exertion in the sun. I don't think so. No, and you know why? I got reasons for thinking that. So technically, the amount that they emit from the stack is very small, and it most likely won't affect the people right here. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it blows generally to the east, and then that plume should get wider. It's been here since 56, I think. So some of the sewer grates say 57. The bridge, if you look really close on one of the steel beams, with like stenciled numbers spray painted on it. I think it's a July 20 something, 24th or something, 1964, something like that. All this shit got built back then. But the reason I say I don't think it messed the bird up, because at Chernobyl, when they go all the way inside the old reactor building and what they call the sarcophagus, I've seen the video. There are hundreds of birds living on top of the sarcophagus, on top of the old reactor. Now it's covered in concrete, but that don't do nothing to stop radiation. What that does is stops the radioactive material from being able to blow around and get into the groundwater and shit, but it's still radioactive. And as those isotopes decay, it'll come right through the concrete.
Also hitting a massive vaccine milestone this weekend.
This isn't
7 million
news.
doses have
This is not news.
Second goal of the game in overtime. Look at the near.
And Premier Doug Ford adding summer camps will go ahead, and he's giving the credit to the work
They're
of
not in
Ontario
his
vaccine
purview.
clinics. The Premier
They're not-
visited a
excuse me,
Mississauga
they're not in
clinic
his
this morning,
purview.
offering some
I don't
hope to
think.
parents and kids, saying,
Like, he can shut them down, but he can't force them to open. The city
They
canceled
are opening
everything
up
this year.
year. It comes as Ontario's stay-at-home order was extended to the 2nd of June.
You're listening to All News Radio 680
Remember-
News at
remember that day.
10:04. The Toronto Police homicide unit is investigating after one person was killed in a recent
I'm a
drive-by shooting in
slide on this
Etobicoke,
homicide on the wrong
and
side.
Willow Ridge,
1,
just
2.
west of Martin Grove. Here's 680's Michelle
1,
Mackey.
2.
Police tape blocks off the entrance.
Can someone
to
explain why they do
22
this
Willow Ridge
half-day
Road,
shit?
Now the scene of a deadly shooting.
Today is 2:21 p.m. Officers from 23 Division, they responded to a sound of gunshots call with multiple victims injured.
So that's 23
City
in
Inspector Michael
Toronto.
Williams says upon arrival, 4 injured men were found and taken to hospital with serious injuries, where one of them, a 28-year-old man, later died. One man remains in life-threatening condition,
1,
and
2.
the other 2 are suffering
2 weeks
from
and 2 days,
non-life-threatening
16 days.
injuries. As police say, a
No,
suspect
that's
or
not right.
suspects opened fire on the victims while they
14.
were in their 2 cars. It's estimated 100 shots were fired, leaving this neighbor infuriated that something like this could happen on a sunny afternoon with children.
Well, I
playing
can't blame the
outside.
neighbors.
Terrorizing, it's like a blood boiling kind of thing.
Police say the suspects
Now,
were
I
on
would
scene
tell
in a
you,
dark
it's the
sedan
people
and
who's got
arrested
shot
with
fault.
information to
The people
contact
who got
police
shot,
or
it's their
Crime
fault that
Stoppers.
happened. It's
You
my
know,
opinion. That's
I'm
just my
Michelle Mackey.
opinion. And it's probably considered wrong by most people. But if you don't understand that that's how we see things, it's going to keep happening.
Pharmacy Avenue and Dewey Drive near Ellesmere Road
Pharmacy
around
Avenue.
4:30 this afternoon.
Of course, I sell drugs. I live in pharmacy.
As one man was allegedly seen chasing another. Suspect allegedly opened fire on the victim and then fled the scene. Investigators are looking to speak with anyone who may have witnessed the incident.
Well, tell us about the dead body at
680
Queen and
News
Dufferin.
Time, 10:06.
Or
2
not.
children are fighting for their lives in hospital after being struck by a vehicle in Vaughan. It happened on Athabasca Drive near Dufferin and Teston around noon. York Regional Police say the children were in the driveway of their home when the neighbor with a neighbor when the driver of the black Mercedes lost control of the vehicle. The 11-year-old girl and 4-year-old boy have critical injuries, while the other individual sustained minor injuries. Constable Laura Nicole said
critical means it can go bad
taken to
fast.
hospital, and a 17-year-old driver was arrested at the scene.
17.
I'm told that the driver is a 17-year-old male, and they are investigating. The initial arrest was for dangerous driving.
So the driver's not even as old as the two kids put together. Really?
Circumstances as it progresses.
Little fucking.
Anyone with
I want to
information
smack.
that can help the investigation is asked to come forward.
Now, what about the two cops that got rammed by? Somebody rammed two police cruisers.
Calling for an independent investigation into the Israeli airstrike that targeted and destroyed a Gaza City building housing the Associated
They're not
Press,
going to tell us nothing.
broadcaster Al Jazeera, and other media. Faris Akram of the Associated.
Okay, they're not going to.
Manifest your soulmate and the love that you deserve. Thank you so much for joining.
I think I did, and it's a crackhead. I'm so sorry.
À l'intérieur et les restaurants.
It was busy with people, so we're running down. We're carrying our heavy equipment, including helmets and then police carry protective vests and their cameras and the tripod.
Yeah, he's okay. He's sleeping. He's not dead. He's sleeping.
Quickly.
The Israeli military claimed that Hamas used the building for a military intelligence office and weapons development. A spokesman
Military
for Israel
intelligence
said that
office.
country is
Well, that's
compound
convenient of
evidence
it. That's a
to the
convenient
United States. Today,
excuse.
the Israeli Defense
Look, there
Forces
was computers
Israeli
and fax
Defense Forces
machines and cell phone. Of
found
course, that's a
buildings
convenient as hell
and killed
excuse.
42 people.
And as that unrest continues in the Middle East, it was another day of protests here in the GTA, with hundreds gathering for a
I'm tired of hearing
pro-Palestinian
adults
rally in
give
Oak
excuses
this
for
afternoon.
victimizing children. I'm tired of it.
It comes as Toronto police have laid charges in connection to a gathering of thousands last night in downtown Toronto. Hundreds gathered in Oakville to speak out on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict a day after a rally that saw thousands fill Nathan Phillips Square. Toronto police charging two people, a 22-year-old Thornhill man accused of assault and a 29-year-old Toronto man charged with bringing a weapon to a meeting. Police also looking into videos circulating on social media.
That's not a charge.
It appears to show a man being assaulted by a group of people.
The incident took place just outside of Nathan Phillips Square, and it is being actively
I thought they assaulted a police
by
officer.
police.
Premier Doug Ford sending out a tweet
Could be wrong.
that
I
reads
could be
in
wrong.
part, absent violence and expressions of anti-Semitism
Oh shit! I
have
have
no
loose
place
tobacco
in Ontario. I'm Keegan Lee.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check the price of the phones.
680 News Time, 10:09.
All right, so this morning I heard that they found a body with obvious signs of trauma in a parking lot at Queen and Dufferin. Fill you in. There's only one parking lot left down there, and it's at the Freshco, which used to be I can't remember the name of this grocery store, but it sucked. Everything in it was garbage. And then before that, it was Food City, down at Queen and Dufferin. So if you're from the hood, you know Dufferin goes north, and then you have to go east on Queen, north on Gladstone, west on a street. I know the name, but I can't remember what it is. Look up on that book here, and then you go back up Dufferin. Now you have no idea what I'm talking about because they finished. It took them 40 fucking years, but they finished putting the road through underneath the railroad trestle. And the catch is now when you go grocery shopping, you got to walk a block and a half to go catch the bus. There was two police officers that got rammed by somebody in a vehicle that may have been stolen. I can't remember what province that happened in. And when I said, so they said Etobicoke 23 division, year 22, 23 division, whatever, in Etobicoke, there's the same division numbers in the next city over, Peel region, not city, the Peel Regional Police also, or is it Brampton? Peel, whatever the fuck it is, also have the same division numbers right next to each other. That's not confusing. All right, I'm gonna light this joint. I swear to God, I'm losing my fucking mind here. What else happened today that was important? I can't remember what else happened today that was important, except I got about 10 pounds of scrap metal. I've reached the point where now I'm picking up all the aluminum cans and some of the steel, because the city gets the money from that in the recycling. They don't get any money for plastic. And when it comes to glass, they have to pay up front to get glass. When you recycle, I don't know why, but you pay up front to get glass recycled. Right now, there is 170 oh dear, what is it? 170 million tons, 170,000 tons, 170 million. Some huge pile of busted glass, mostly from Canada, Ontario, but they can't be sure because it's all smashed up. When they collect glass, they smash it first, collect it all up, and then bring it to get melted down. I don't know why. Yeah, so it's now quite hazardous because it's all broken up. It's a huge tower of glass in it's either upstate New York or in New Jersey, and that's how I found out. Supposedly they got to pay up front to get it recycled because the people that were collecting it up collected the money to recycle it, stockpiled all the broken glass, and then did nothing with it. It's useful. It's useful. And the catch with aluminum, since it's not magnetic, a lot of it will end up in the landfill or the incinerator because they can't. And aluminum will burn. I've seen it. You throw a beverage can into a campfire, it will burn. Maybe it's not oxidizing like wood, but it will vaporize or whatever. Oh, geez. Dude, if I had a truck or even a car, I'd be hauling so much scrap metal and empty bottles and shit. So with sickle cell and the pain condition, I shouldn't be driving. If I'm anywhere in pain, I don't think I could even think to get into a car and start it. It lays me out on the floor. It knocks me the fuck now. I've been looking into. No, I got no car. To answer your question, I got no car. I need a car. I need some type of vehicle. And yeah, I could pick up all sorts of shit. I'd be out there right now. I'm gonna just start the music and smoke a joint. Yeah, and then we'll get to reality. Fuck, my sinus hurts. The bird is sleeping. I'll bring him down in a second. And the reason is because the smoke could fucking kill him. Come on, Alexis. So we have non-stop problems. So does everybody. So please don't think I'm bitching about like poor me, poor me. I'm just venting on the record. And then I get right back to doing what I'm doing. For example, here, I'll need this in a second. This is just what I've set aside, okay? 'Cause I'm sure I've thrown a bunch of this shit into recycling bins over the years. And that is a 4-liter container. So it's slightly more than a gallon. Yeah, we're getting jammed the fuck up. Well, I pressed play a minute and a half ago, I think. So, let's see, will this stack on top of that? Yes. Well, barely. One problem after. I'll just switch to different music. I'm really not that particular about it, eh? Like, so they obviously seem to say, oh, you got a crappy device. You got a crappy connection. No, I don't think so, because everything works 90% of the time until people try breaking it, which is the same as anything. You try breaking it. Press play, 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 and then I believe it'll be even or odd. I should have counted. I want to light it, but watch, it'll take 20 minutes for it to start playing. I'm gonna just change the music to something else. Like I swear to God. Press it once more, and it should be even or odd. Did I not start the music 5 minutes ago and it was playing, and now it's just not? It's refusing, man. Damn. Let's put the radio on then. Fucking hell. Yeah. So when that viewer counter drops, that's Chomo logging off to go fucking do his thing because he's using one device. Yes. Keep locking up the screen, bro. Keep locking up the interface and everything else. Every time my face turns this way, I want to see that too. I want to see that bounce up and down over fucking over, bro. So check your live viewer counter. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. It's down to 1. Why is it down to 1? Because buddy fucked off. Why? Because he can't watch the video and run his software at the same time. So keep it up. Every time I look towards the screen, I want it to freeze up. Frame me perfectly, bro. No, we'll just do this. No, it's locked up. Way to go. Oh, stupid. You locked it up. Jeez, why is the RAM full? Oh. fuck, can you hurry the fuck up? Everything's gonna, this is so useful. And the camera's still running even though it's disconnected. That's crazy.